So here we are with episode 11 of Stardust Telepath. Last episode, we've got the resolution for Haruno, and we are hopefully going to get a resolution for Raimon, and perhaps even her flashback, so that will be exciting, probably. If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access to non-seasonal and some seasonal shows on the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. Oh, she's watching her speech again. Or at least she's not crying this time around, huh? Oh, that's Raimon. You know what? Time to challenge Raimon to another rocket battle. You know, if you win this time, then yes, you can actually quit. But if you lose, you're coming back with us. She keeps the... No, she doesn't have her choker on anymore, but she has the goggles around her neck instead.
I stole it from Raimon!
Yeah! Artist impression. Yeah, you fucking stole those goggles, good! Back at it again. Ooh, it was... Ooh! Kay's here. I lured her in. Of course. Ooh, they're all learning to make better rockets, so they don't have to pull Raimon behind. Oh, they're going to their school. In terms of like sports anime, this is when they go to the rival school to scout them out. She's texting them. We can hear everything. Neon, since she's got the neon stripes. Michiru. Neon and Michiru. Yes. Kay's collection. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Gotta write down those notes, Umika. Oh, wow. Damn. Playing up the mentor act. Well, yeah, she didn't fucking teach you guys. Let's surprise Raimon. That's right. That's why we gotta challenge her again. And then we beat her ass with rockets. For 6 hours. Mentor act flew away. Oh, we know that she's a bit of a scatterbrain. But that's why she's got you guys! Exactly! Uh-oh. Oh, they're fighting over her. Well, Raimon was putting a lot of burden on herself. That's right. Seize the momentum. They push her, she just falls flat on her face. Oh, the letter of challenge. Let's go. We're back at it. I ain't here to play your silly game. Oh shit, maybe she is! Oh my god, those are some demon eyes out here. Oh, she's using the... she's just like, yeah, I'm just getting... she's like, I'm just getting the fucking black powder out. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna win anyways. Truly demon eyes out here, dude. But... well, that's someone who didn't try. You don't need me. You didn't fucking try! That's it, we're having a slap out. I don't know what's with me and slapping right now. No, you're gonna fucking stand here, and we're gonna fucking talk to you about it. Ooh. Ooh, she fucking sabotaged herself. Well, ooh, why I yada? No, we're having another rematch, that's it. Look at her, already in her defeatist stage. Ooh, a hug! Alright, that's fine too. Oh, you're being such a downer on herself. And yet here's someone who also feels the same, huh? I was the only one. She didn't realize that. Sometimes it's a strong one who needs, you know, the help. Winter's high and mighty wisdom. Uh-oh. We need to lock her down with a group hug. Ooh. Her soon was out in full force. Yes. You did a lot, Raimon. Mm-hmm. That tiny reason for you. It was always the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, understandable. So you wouldn't get hurt. Yeah, but, well, that's what you said. You're a fucking open book. You're the one who hurts the most. Mm-hmm. If you really just wanted to win by yourself, you have told Haruno to stop recording. That's right, she's as firm as a lighthouse. Vapid's worthless and empty. And yet, Umika's words, huh? Mm-hmm. Let's go. Stand up. Oh, they're listening. Either way, doesn't matter. Oh, pull her right back into another hug. Nah. Better late than never, huh? Ah, here I was just like, group hug, everyone. Lock her right in. Oh my god, she called you by her actual name. Put the goggles right back on her. Yeah! Just returning your item. Uh-oh, they're rubbing foreheads on her. Uh-oh. Forehead power. Oh. They were showing all the clams and everything. The seashells, I don't know why I'm saying clams. They're all together now. Oh, how cute. Alright, well, yeah, I did expect a Daimon flashback, but we didn't. We technically got a portion, just a tiny bit, but I think that was enough. Everything else was just emotions, feelings. What? Felt a little teary there. I thought it was a very nice scene, yo. For someone who's so afraid of hurting that they're willing to push themselves away, right? I mean, understandable. That's how I feel, Daimon. Relatable, you know, in terms of what is it? She's unavoidant. She's willing to push relationships away in order to not hurt herself. But we've got the gang all together again. Sick. Oh. Feel a lot better. Don't lie to us. Well, you lost. If that's what you want. Oh, look at her be a little tsundere. Ah, she's got a whole fucking term. Ah, Marube. Oh, she fucking sick? Damn, we need to take her straight. I'm scared of ambulances. Uh-oh, she's dead. No. Oh. Last episode, Stardust Telepath. All right. That was a good episode, and I'm gonna go write my notes, and we will be right back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 11 of Stardust Telepath. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a great episode. I am always a fan of a good old Daimon episode, you know, making me feel all sorts of emotions out here. Got a little teary, but overall, you know, a lot of crying out here. A little emotional group crying, a little group hug and everything. I thought that was very very beautiful. But I unfortunately am in such a slappy mood for the past 2 weeks. I'm just over here like, just slap her. And Umika went and hugged Raimon instead. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, that is a lot better than my suggestion. But towards the end, we've got a word called Marubiv Teriv, which means tsundere alien. and we kind of had the idea, we had the idea that Yuu was able to see right through Raimon this whole time. And here she is saying the alien word for tsundere. The fact that they even have a word for tsundere in the alien language. That's very funny. And so I like that you just straight out like, yeah, I know you're a tsundere. I've known this whole entire time. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Anyways, before I get into Raimon, we had the first part to be about a little bit more about Kei, right? About Umika and the gang going to the space R&D club in order to learn how to build a space, not a space rocket, but to learn how to build a rocket, and to learn so that they could, so that they don't have to hold Raimon back, so that they'd be able to catch up to her, and then they can continue to learn together instead of having Raimon pull everybody, you know, and carry everyone in the game. They don't want her to carry all that burden, albeit Umika says we're the one who's been letting Raimon carry the burden, which I get her perspective, but like at the same time, Raimon chose to do it by herself, right? She refused to teach them about it, or at the very least teach them in a manner where they'd be able to learn about it a little bit more. But then again, Raimon perhaps just wasn't on the same level as Kei, you know? Kei's been out here building rockets a lot longer, and I mean, she's out here with a fucking simulator and shit. She knows her stuff, and as what we've learned from Kei, I learned it from my mistakes, and that's why she tells Umika in the 2 episodes ago, if you fall down, just pick yourself back up and fucking get yourself going, because that's exactly how Kei does it. Also, there's one thing that I thought is interesting in terms of, well, the Kei and her club member, and the two who are just like, yeah, you know, Kei is such a clumsy nut. She sometimes she forgets to file in for the tournament. Sometimes she forgets to put whatever this thing is in the rocket, and the both of them ends up saying, what would she do without me, before they stare at each other all charged up like they're fucking fighting for Kei's affection. And I thought that was pretty funny. We've got this I don't know, this love triangle going on. I've been thinking about her hair ornament, the thing that ties her hair together, the moon symbol behind it. I've been looking at it, I'm just like, oh yeah, the moon, you know, that's pretty nice. But then just though seeing the way that Neon and Michiru, not to say look up, but they're connected to Kei, and that they see that Kei as the leader, albeit despite her being the leadership and everything, she still needs them and whatever. And I was thinking, well, we have this whole motif of lighthouses, and not lighthouses, but a lighthouse, and that Umika is the light. She is the lighthouse to all of her club members. She is the leader, right? She's the person who draws them all into this club and get them all together, right? Giving them a place, a safe place in the stormy sea that is life. I was thinking maybe that's how Kei is as well, but instead of her being the lighthouses to her club members, she is the moon. And the moon is something that you would often very much see shining in the darkness. And I not as vibrant as a lighthouse, but but it is definitely there, and it's very permanent. And I thought that is a nice way to showcase the way that Kei and Umika brings their club members together. But at the same time, I was also thinking, a lighthouse is very reachable. You're pretty much are able to be there in the lighthouse and such, you know? But the moon is very far away. So I don't know. So I got a bit too much into the moon motif that I completely forgot to talk about how Umika might have seen a different side to Kei because of her club members, Neon and Michiru, and begun to realize that Kei is just like her, a girl who desperately needs her club member to support her, which could help Umika unravel Raimon, as you will hear me talk about later on. about the fact that Umika puts Raimon on a pedestal and she didn't realize that Raimon is just like everyone else. So I thought that was a pretty nice detail that I just happened to miss and I completely forgot to write in my notes. Anyways, Umika, Yuu, and Haruno are able to get some training from Kei and company, and they're planning on doing this because Umika's secret plan is to challenge Raimon to another challenge, so then they could win against Raimon, and they'll be able to say the things that they want to say to Raimon, unlike last time where Raimon won, albeit Raimon listened to Umika's words anyways. And I wrote in my notes that they're learning so much when someone isn't yelling at them. There's a big difference in the ways of teaching, you know? But with that over, Umika gives her letter of challenge to Raimon, who is over here. I initially said, yeah, these are some fucking demon eyes out here, dog. But I love the coloring of the gradient of this, right? Very pinkish, and then as it goes up, it becomes like, I forgot what this type of color is, but I'm thinking of like wine red. I mean, there's even like the mark that blends in between like the wine red and the very pinkish red, and then up here is just full on black. And it's very much a big contrast to like her white pupil. And it gives off such a very eerie look, and I love it. I love the way that they drew her eyes when she is here at this moment, where she has fully given up, right? And she sees that, oh, Umika's challenging me to another challenge. This is a great opportunity for me to finally burn the bridge and just let go, as what she has done for all these years. We've also got this motif of the seashells at the beach. Now we've got these 3 seashells all together, except for one very far away from them. Very nice. But again, with Raimon coming into this challenge, wanting to lose, she sabotaged herself by using a battery that was much weaker, and she definitely perhaps would have won, or at the very least challenged them a little bit more than this score that she got, right? The group, they've got 76 and she only has 31, and that's such a big score difference. And as we know with Raimon is very hot-headed, and she is going to put everything she can into the challenge. I mean, even at the point where they were using plastic bottle rockets and just firing it up via like water or something, and then she just pulls out the black powder. You know, doing a little loophole out here. Because she just wants to win. But this is very opposite of how she was in the first match that they had. She's over here ready to give up, and again, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. I love that Haruno's coming out here showcasing the battery, and her getting upset at Raimon for, well, sabotaging herself, and she's like, hey, I told you not to fucking lose, and here you are losing like a loser. I told you last episode, I hate you being a loser. So what the fuck? But it is very nice to see, well, I mentioned last episode, right? Haruno feels like she's too much of an empath, that she gets hurt of other people losing, and that's why she tries to pull herself away and think not about the results and more about the journey. But here she is, fully open with herself and accepting the results, but not accepting that Raimon sabotaged herself and such. But, you know, here she is feeling the loss that Raimon put on herself, and she is upset for, she's upset for Raimon, since it seems like Raimon's not going to be upset about it. So, I like that. It's a nice change in Haruno, because, man, if we didn't have her change, she wouldn't be like this. And while Raimon is out here doing a little defeatist, you know, like, oh, well, I lost, you guys can just go find a way better engineer than someone like me. I'm worthless. And we've got Umika, who's just ready, you know, ready to give her a hug, walking right towards her. And again, I'm too much in a slappy mood right now. But again, a hug works so much better. A hug works so much better. And we've got Umika crying about this, and Raimon, who doesn't understand why Umika's crying. I also like the change in her eyes as well, because previously it was a little shade of pinkish and then the wine red and then black, but now it's like fully-ish, a little bit more fuller in pink with only a little bit of it honestly looks like blood red at this point. But this part, not really black. It's more of the wine red. So I do like that slight change in her eyes. I mean, we also got this, like, this fucking sun that is just reflecting off of her eye, it looks like. And her pupil's not white anymore, it's black. And I love Umika's explanation here, because she apologizes for not being able to understand Raimon. It is exactly what Emihara said to Haruno, right? That you would be able to understand how Raimon feels. And so here is Umika coming to that understanding that, yeah, Emihara is correct. I do understand how she feels. She is exactly like me. She is exactly like everyone else. Because Umika was so inside her own head that she feels like she was the only one who felt weak, miserable, and in pain. And she puts Raimon on a pedestal, kind of like how she puts Kei on a pedestal. And she sees Raimon as a person that she looks up to, a person who is very strong, stands firm against the storm. But here she finally realizes that no, Raimon is just putting up a front this whole time. Kind of like, I mean, you guys figured that out a long time ago, but you know, here's Umika finally coming to that understanding, and she feels very sad for not understanding this a lot sooner, to which, you know, look, Raimon's been yelling at you, so like it's understandable why you're just thinking about yourself. But, you know, yeah, Umika's gone through her resolution and such, so I think it's very nice. And then we've got an angry Raimon coming in, you know, telling her to shut up, pushing her away. Don't tell me you know how you understand how I feel. I love that she's like, is that the winner's high and mighty wisdom? When in the last time when she won, she's just like, well, I guess I'll hear the words of the losers, huh? Very fun. God, she's not happy in either's position, huh? Well, actually, no, Raimon in the last position was very high and mighty. But she says that's not what I'm looking for, because she's so ingrained in everybody else's relationship that she has burned, and the way that they acted towards her. Right? She's expecting them to walk away, to be like, okay, you know, Raimon's a little bit mean, so we're gonna walk away now. You know, and then she'll just be like, oh, there you go. That's exactly what I'm looking for, and I'm going to be alone forever, and that's totally okay. Don't you, any of you, dare act like we're the same. I've had enough of your empty words. And then Yuu comes in, saying that these are all lies. Yeah, she calls her a liar. These are all lies. You can read her like an open book. And I love Umika coming in, saying that she's the one who's been pushing them forward this whole time. Albeit I don't know about the part of, because you yelled at me for being useless back then. I was able to gather up the courage to tell you my dreams. I'm just like, I guess. Tough love and everything. But I do agree on Raimon's the person who pushed them forward to getting a club, and that's the place that Umika feels like she belongs, right? Because of Raimon and everyone else, they have given Umika a place that she desperately so wants to be belonged in. Okay, that sentence just does not make sense grammatically. And we get back to this part in terms of a flashback, where Raimon says, well, you found a place where you belong. Good for you. Initially, when they first showed that, I kind of had that hint of like, why does that not feel good? But then as they kind of kept playing it again, I was just like, oh, maybe it was a good thing. You know, now I'm just kind of like, I think it was it was half and half, that like, yeah, Raimon was happy that Umika found a place that she belonged, but at the same time, Raimon still kind of felt like she didn't belong here, and that's why she had to prove her worth. So it kind of felt a little 50-50 of like, it was a little wholesome, but at the same time, it wasn't. I like the way that they showcased that scene, and like the way that it made me feel initially. And here's Umika, being the lighthouse, telling Raimon, I want to become a place where you can feel like you belong, a place where you can stay. Alright, even if it's just a tiny bit, I want to be that place, right? I want to be the lighthouse in the storm of life. And so she reaches her hand out and tells her, as a genuine friend, let's build fucking rockets together. Let's go, Raimon. And it's great. And we get to see just a tiny segment of Raimon, the way that Raimon thinks, but I kind of already mentioned this, right? That in the past, she has burned many relationships through her harsh words, it's just the way that she is. And unfortunately, when it comes to the world, for the most part, people with these harsh personality tend to get pushed away because, well, you'd rather have a person who's a little bit nicer to you than a person who says what it is and make you feel hurt, because people are sensitive and they don't want to get hurt. And instead, they hurt each other in different ways. AKA, they act nice to each other. They act nice to each other, and then they talk shit about one another behind each other's back. And perhaps, Raimon has seen that and she doesn't like that, and that's why she feels a lot of people's words are vapid and empty and worthless. And I say this when it comes to Tsundere characters a lot, but words matter. And the way that you form these words matter. Some people might not like the idea of sugarcoating things, but I think that just a minimal of sugarcoating could be fine. But I also feel like it's okay to be blunt sometimes, and it's okay to be honest with your feelings and say exactly what you want to say, but there's a difference between saying what you want to say. I don't want to say in a way that is acceptable for society, but that's kind of what it feels like, but in a way that wouldn't hurt the other person's feelings that much. Well, let's just go with that, right? I think that there is some good in being able to say what you want to say, but there's also a bad in saying what you want to say, because you're going to hurt the other person's feeling, and you're going to give a bad impression on yourself. And this is something that I always think about, which is the idea of connections. You want to be able to connect with other people in terms of your relationship and everything, right? You don't have to be their friend or anything, but as long as you make connections and you give a good impression to said people, right? You want to be able to have the other person, if they ever think about you, if ever, right? If you ever come across their mind, you would hope that they have a good impression of you and be like, oh, that person, they were pretty cool. I think that that's like a big important thing about connections. And I was gonna say, in terms of like tsunderes or whatever, or people who have like a harshness to their words. Also, I don't like people who say, oh, I'm just being honest and blunt with my feelings, but then they don't understand why the other person gets hurt. They're just like, well, I'm just being honest. I typically don't really like those kind of people, because like I feel like they don't want to learn the ways that you should be talking. It's a skill. So being social is a skill. That's for sure. I tend to bring up A Silent Voice often when I'm trying to talk about the idea of forming your words and personality and such, and especially when it comes to the movie A Silent Voice, because I feel like hopefully people who read the manga would be able to understand what I'm about to say a little bit more. And also, this is like the 500th time you hear me talk about A Silent Voice, I apologize. But when it comes to A Silent Voice, there are two characters. First one is Miki Kawai, and the second one is Naoka Oino. Now, people don't like Oino because she's very harsh with her words, but she says what she wants to say. Alright, she's for the most part, true with her feelings, but she is also like a little bit of a tsundere, so like she's kind of hiding a little bit with her feelings and whatever. But for the most part, she says what the fuck she wants to say, and that's it. And so because of that, people don't like her. And of course, she's, you know, with the whole thing that happens towards the end, you know, it's a little, but there's that. But people typically don't really give that much shit to Kawaii, Kawaii, because she knows how to put on a mask. She acts nice. Oh, she's the class representative and everything. And also the anime really does her dirty in terms of not showing her true personality. Oh, well, the little fucker that is Kawaii. God, I hate Kawaii. I fucking hate her. They also did Ueno dirty. How fucking dirty. But that's the way that I see it, right? Society sees people like Ueno. She is too harsh with her words. I don't like her. And then Miki, she is a little bit nicer in her words. And she, you know, acts like a kind and responsible person. And it's just like, it's just so hard. But like, it's a lot easier to hate on someone like Ueno, just because of the way that her character is, than it is to hate on Kawaii. But I personally think it's so much easier to hate on Kawaii than it is to hate on Ueno. But hey, this is just me who like tsunderes, alright? So I understand fellow tsunderes out here, alright? They fighting for their lives out here. And I'm also thinking about Yano from Yuri Is My Job and Hime, right? The way that those two, I think those two are also perfect examples of, in terms of like the society in their school treat them and such, right? Yano, very straightforward with her words, say whatever the fuck she wants. And Hime is able to coat her words in very sugary tones. And that's why people love Hime and her mask. People love the way that she acts and not for her true self. While people see Yano for her true self and they don't like her because, well, she's a little mean, she's a little aggressive. That's also a great example as well. And I if you have not seen Yuri Is My Job, it's a pretty good adaptation, I think. The manga fucking slaps. It's a pain. That's for sure. They call themselves a dramedy, but you know, all I feel is pain a lot of the time. Where's the comedy? But what I like about Yuri Is My Job is that Yano kind of starts to learn a little bit more that sometimes being straightforward with people and just being like her aggressive self is not particularly ideal if you want to fit in with society. And not to say that you should change yourself to fit in with society. I think that you should be able to, but still, society is very much society. Being social is very much a skill, and you just need to learn when you should be saying stuff that you really want to say in a mean, aggressive way, and when you shouldn't. And you should dial down just a little bit, especially if you want the other person to listen to you. So yeah, that's one reason why I enjoy Yuri Is My Job, is that Yano kind of tries to learn about that, right? Put up a mask and everything. And yeah, you know, if we're talking about Carl Jung, psychology and stuff, I think it's Carl Jung who does like the whole persona, the mask and everything. That's everybody puts on a mask, a little persona of themselves in order for them to go along with the world and such. Anyways, what the fuck was I talking about? I went on a tangent. Anyway, Raimon breaks down once she realizes that the gang is still here, despite her hurtful words and everything. And she thinks back to the whole vapid and useless, worthless words that people have. And yet, here's Umika's, whose words aren't vapid, whose words aren't worthless, right? And she says exactly what she means, despite it being weak and timid. They're very solid. And that's why she tried so hard, right? That's why she tried so hard for this tournament. That's why she put all that burden on herself, because she wanted to prove herself to Umika that she belongs in this place as well. And I love that Daimon, finally comes to the acceptance that, yeah, I do want to build rockets with everybody. She takes Umika's hand, they hug and everything, very cute, and then we get an entire group hug. The whole group just hug it out. Very cute. Very adorable. And then we get the group forehead rub. Which is even cuter, dude. Out here fucking attacking her with the fucking forehead rub. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. And then we see the seashells all together again. Wow, how cute. Wow, we did it, y'all. The gang's all here. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this part of the episode. This episode in general, I don't know. So, I enjoyed that. The last thing I wrote in my notes is just great performances from the voice actors, the voice actresses, the VAs. So, yeah, a lot of crying, a lot of yelling out here. Good stuff, dude. A lot of emotion. Again, a lot of feelings coming out in this episode. I love it. Tell me, when you first watched the first episode of the series, did you expect we would be here? I didn't. But alright, folks. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you in the next episode.